Hey guys, how are you doing? This is Laszlo for the Miami Beach Kiteboarders Foundation. I have been using the AlpineFoil 4.5 for a couple of months now, and I really think that this is probably the best foil I ever used, and it really rides like a Bentley. And AlpineFoil just released the new 5.0 Access foil, and I was able to grab one of the first released foil. And I have been riding this probably for 2-3 weeks now, and you have been seeing me and asking if I can give a little bit of a review, so I decided to put together a video review on this. So when we are talking about the foil, you know, the first thing that someone would like to look at would be really the foil, but actually I would like to start with the board. And you might say that the board is not really important, and it is kind of you can attach the board, the foil, to anything, and I actually did that. I attached the board to anything I was able to put my hand on. I put on a twin tip, I put on my wake surfer, I put it on a surfboard. But there are certain things that you are looking for in a board, and I'm very much pleased with this one. This is also the newly released board from AlpineFoil. This is called the V5. And what are the things that are really important in a foil board? Well, one thing is that when you are riding, you really want to push the foil as much as you can, and you don't want a wobbly board. You want the board to be as stiff as possible, and they were able to achieve that by using carbon and bamboo and epoxy construction. This board is extremely solid and won't bend. The other thing that you are looking for a board when you are foiling, then you don't want too much swing weight. So you want to reduce the weight as least as possible, and you want to shorten the board as much as possible. And this board is super short. So if you are reading here, it is a 142 by 52.5 by 6.5 centimeter board, which means that you can actually fit into a travel bag. I put this bag here just to show that I just came back from a trip from Bimini, and I was able to put this entire thing, a 12 meter, an 8 meter kite, the bars, the pump, my harness, and you know, I was traveling like you are traveling with your regular twin tip. Good. Now after this, let's talk about the features of this board, and I will remove the foil from the board just to show the F-box, and it can be very easily done with a screwdriver. And also what is really nice in this board, that all the screws are worked with one screwdriver, so you don't need various different kind of Phillips screws or any particular shape of screws. They're supplying this with this screwdriver, and it is worked like a charm. So if I open this up, there is the screw, I put it aside, and we have the F-box. The F-box is only working with one screw, and it is very efficient, so you will see that it is really got into the board very sluggishly, and I actually have to kind of move it out to be able to take the foil out of the board. Now I would like to give you a closer view of the F-box. This is a little bit shallower than the Tuttle box, but it has a shape that will keep the foil always in a snug position, and it is never moving. On the other side, you are fixing it with only one screw, and this screw has never ever loosened on me, so I'm super duper happy about this. So what are the nice features of this board? Well, one very nice thing is that they work a lot on this. They increased a little bit the volume of the board compared to the V6, and they put volume to the front part of the board. And why is that important? Because if you are decelerating, you are hitting the waves, this extra volume will help you tremendously to pop on the plane. The other very interesting and very good feature it has, that they also increased the rocker line, and they made the double concave V's more defined, that is actually going through the entire board. With that, when you are decelerating or getting out of the plane, you are able to pop up immediately, and the board is actually not slowing down. So even when you are touching the water that I found, you know, that this is kind of like a death situation. You touch the water with your board, you decelerate, and in marginal conditions, game over. With this one, even if I'm touching the water, the foil is just kind of popping up effortlessly on the plane, and I keep falling away. So this is about the bottom portion of the board. But there are a lot of very interesting things actually on the top portion of the board as well. One thing that I really like, that they put the screws, the foot placement in a very nice way. What do I mean about that? I mean that the front foot straps are very close or close enough to the center of the board, so when you are going for a toe side trick, it is extremely easy to put the board on the toe side, and toe side riding is also very comfortable. The other thing is that they supply this with these foot straps, and you know, these foot straps are really unique. I have been using foot straps for a very long time, doing windsurfing, doing kite surfing, so I didn't think too much about these foot straps. On the other hand, you know, after a couple of days using it, I was totally amazed, and I said, oh my god, you know, these are the best foot straps ever. It's really kind of funny that the Kite-HydroFoil company is coming out with the best foot straps on the market. Why are these foot straps so good? Well, one thing is that they are extremely comfortable. The other thing is that they are keeping their shape, so when you are changing foot from one side to another, you are hopping and foiling. It is always a difficult thing to kind of just hop to one foot strap to another. It is keeping its shape, and it is directing your foot to the right direction. And if you are messing up moves, then you can step on top of it and you won't be taken off the plane, or you won't be kind of messing up your tricks, and then you just kind of wiggle back your feet into the foot straps. So it is a fantastic thing, and it was really a big surprise. And there is a hole here on the board. This is a place for a GPS, so if you are trying to do things like you would like to go to racing and you would like to know your actual speed, your maximum speed, that what is the angle of attack that you are doing when you are riding, then you can mount here a Velocitech GPS, and that gives you the accurate read. I have it on my other board. I actually like it very much. You can compare kites, like a foil kite is way more efficient than a tube kite with the angle of attack. Regarding the, so that's about the board. You know, the foot strap position could be set up that you put like just one foot strap. I never used that before. I like this one. This is giving you a lot of access to things like you're doing freestyling, you can do free riding, and this is the foot strap position that the racers are also using, so that helps you to improve on jives and air tags. So with all that, let's talk about the foil. So here is the 5.2 Access, and what you have to know about this foil, that you know, I think that they made a great job by kind of calling it Access. And why is it Access? Because, well, this is Access on multiple levels. First and foremost, it is Access because using aircraft aluminum in the mast and in the fuselage, they were able to reduce the price. So a lot of people who cannot really afford the $3,000–4,000 gear can get something around $2,000 and get fantastic foiling. They also combine it with the very well proven design of the 4.5, the extra large platform of the 4.5. These are the same wings, the front wings and the back wings. They are not finished as shiny as the 4.5, but the shape is exactly the same. So, and why do I like, you know, the 4.5? And when you are looking at foils, what are you looking for? Why is this foil is so nice, or why do I like it that much? Well, the most important thing is that this is actually a large foil. It is an extremely large platform. So AlpineFoil did a very smart thing, and basically what they did, that they put a lot of surface area on a high aspect wing. So the wing spans 67 centimeters. If you go home and measure yours, you can find that most of the foils are kind of like this big, but they are usually, especially the ones that are sold for beginners, are much fatter. They look like a ray. That means that if you have a foil like that it will plane very early, but at the same time it won't be able to go fast. It is like the ray cannot really swim fast, but the tuna fish, which has this wonderful elongated shape and high aspect wing, will be able to fly very high speed. So this foil, this wing is really unique because they were able to accomplish two things. One is very early, low speed planing. At the same time, it gives you access to high speed. So I was riding this, in this very wavy conditions, which is a difficult riding up to 22 knots, which is over 40 km/h. But at the same time, I was able to foil about 6 knots of wind. So that's absolutely fantastic. Now, what else this big wing is actually doing for you? Because it is so wide, your roll stability will be extremely good. You can imagine when you are going, the rolling on this foil will be extremely stable. And when you are starting out or when you are going for tricks, the stability is extremely welcome. Now, the other thing that they actually came out and improved on is the fuselage. As you can see, the fuselage is also kind of out of the ordinary. Why is it? Because this is super long fuselage. This fuselage is 87 centimeters. So it is about 1/3 or 1/4 longer than any of the fuselages that are right now commercially available. And what is this long fuselage is doing for you? It is going to stabilize you. So I should probably do it this way. So when you're riding, the pitch stability, what I mean is that when you are going like a dolphin, this pitch stability will be achieved by the long fuselage, and the stabilizing wing put very much apart from the forward wing. And it does a great job. It gives you that very nice, very smooth, very silky ride. The other thing that they did to keep the weight low, that they manufactured the fuselage in a very nice hydrodynamic profile. I don't know how much it can be seen. I'm trying to show it to you. But at the same time, they made it a triangular shape. They left material, well, it was really needed for reinforcement. However, they took material away where it is not needed, and with that they were able to reduce the dead weight of this foil. So this foil, as it is only about 0.5 kilogram heavier than the carbon version, but stiffness wise it is very close to it. Another thing is that there are some aluminum foils out, and you have to be careful with that. And why do you have to be careful? Because you want to know, is it made from aircraft aluminum or not? Aircrafts are in the air for 20, 30, 40 years. They are flapping with their wings, and if they would have material fatigue, they would fall out or they would bend their wings. And this fatigue stability is also applying to these structures. It means that when you're riding, when you are jumping, even if there is a recoil, then this is going to go back, and the fatigue of the material is minimal. And then let's talk just a few words about the mast. The mast is a little bit shorter than the aluminum version. It is 95 centimeters, and it is also a very stiff design. You don't have too much bending, and it is, as I told you before, is going into the, or attached to the board with an F-box that AlpineFoil is using. I think that F1 is using. So with all that, I have to say that I'm super happy and I'm super stoked about this. I love this foil, I love the board. It gives you access to a lot of things. So this is something that when you are starting out, you are kind of thinking, okay, do I really have to spend that much money? And what if I'm going to be skunked, disappointed what I'm purchasing? And this is one of the reasons actually I'm putting out, because I have been struggling with this. I went through like 5 different foils when I found this, and this product together works so nicely and beautifully that I would say that 90% of the people who are watching this video will never ever grow out this foil. If you want to go a little bit faster, then you can switch over the wings, and they have the RT or Sport or the race wings, and you are able to go and do that. The access will give you access on multiple levels. It will give you access to the light fin sessions that you were not able to pull off on your surfboard or on your huge fin tip. You will go much faster in those conditions, and you will be on a much smaller kites. Access is given so to hydrofoiling, but access is given to free ride, to freestyle. You will be able to do 360s, you are able to do the jives and tacks, and with that, if you are an aspiring person who would like to join to the race arena, this will be a board that could be used for races, but also you can learn on slow speed with very small amount of impact tricks that will give you confidence to try it high speed, maybe on other gear, or if you are changing the wings on that one. I heard on the blogs that the exact same setup with different wings, they were able to push the foil to 30 knots of speed, which is, I would say, really incredible. And you know, you can look this thing also as you know, an investment, because after a busy work day and when you are extremely frustrated, you pay basically to have your solitude, because you will be out and riding on your own with this foil, and that gives you the access to be alone in the metropolis. So with all that, we are very stoked about this. If you guys have any questions, I'm very happy to answer. I will provide my email address, and you can contact me through the Miami Beach Kiteboarders Foundation. Thank you very much for tuning in. Till the next time.